I think the worst abuse I received on Twitter was back in November when I was all in all the papers. I woke up and had over, I think it was over like 4,000 abusive tweets basically calling me a man in a dress, a freak show, and it wasn't the individual tweet that was maybe the worst, it was more like the magnitude of them that made it pretty bad. I was feeling shocked. I think I knew that, I think I'd always experienced some kind of abuse online. I think when you're visibly gender non-conforming and taking up public space, you're always going to get the odd comment. So I didn't feel shocked that these words were coming out of people's mouth. I think when I saw the magnitude of them and the frequency of them, I was really overwhelmed. I felt unsafe. I started to think about all the information that we have online and started to wonder if these people could find it. Yeah, so I think I predominantly felt unsafe.
Okay, so on Twitter and on other social media platforms, I was referred to as a monkey, as a chimp, as an ape, various forms of the N-word. I was told to eat SHIT, that all Africans live in mud huts. I was also asked which STD will end my miserable life, to get lynched, stupid nog, and if all whites agreed that the best course of action would be to exterminate blacks, we could do it in a week.
It's really hard to pick the worst abuse I've ever received on Twitter. There are so many candidates. But the thing that stays with me the most emotionally is a couple of years ago when I was on Twitter criticizing Trump for picking Steve Bannon as a chief advisor. I wound up targeted by just a deluge of Nazis for just a vile, sexist, misogynist, anti-Semitic spew that lasted 24 to 48 hours. And they said what has become the usual stuff to me. Shut up, you're fat, you're ugly, women should, you know, whatever, all that violent stuff, I should be raped. But on the top of it, it was also very specifically targeting me as a Jew and saying that I should be put to death in an oven. And there were a couple of organized Nazi groups who tweeted that they had their eye on me. And it was, to say it was very unsettling is to undersell it. It was terrifying.
So I am a proud Black woman. I'm biracial. I'm an activist. I had an abortion. I'm a girl of the Midwest. And I definitely get harassment that targets all of those identities. I get called ugly, fat, a cunt, all sorts of things simply because I'm a woman. I get called a nigger a lot because I'm Black, and questions from white supremacists as to whether I'm really Black simply because I am biracial. It's exhausting. It's harmful, it's tiring, it's frustrating. I receive death threats on pretty much all social media platforms a couple times a week. Really disgusting comments, people threatening to rape me, people threatening that they hope someone else will do harm to me, simply because I believe everyone should be able to have the right to be able to have access to birth control and health care and abortion and prenatal care and whatever kind of health care they need. I just don't think that that's right. Abortion is a human right, and yet for simply saying that, the amount of hate that I receive is atrocious.